Hello everyone. Looks like we're close to completing the all the areas before the why am I Oakham Village? So in here we're going to see some of the things I've learned uh, playing in the video, where I figured out how to control the distance and speed at which I travel with the Rolling Thunder. So hopefully we see it here as soon as so I could just talk about it. So I am just so what I initially thought was like, well, maybe the stand to attack was the way to solve it, right? So like if you don't know, there's a hotkey which lets you attack while standing still, and I wasn't sure if that applied to abilities or not. And so I'm like looking here right now. It's just like, okay, where is this thing? So I'm gonna put it to number 3, and then I'm going to try it out. And you will notice that like it doesn't work. It only works for attacks for some reason. I don't know why. It's fine if they want you to keep moving with Rolling Thunder, but I think they should have done the minimal amount of movement. Though this does mean there's some more skill expression in the game when it comes to how far you move with this ability. So once again, I'm just checking and like, okay, well, did it not save or something? Like, is it not working? Just having a hard time finding it. And when I figured out how to make it smaller, which is what you have to do is you just have to put it on your character. So if you put it directly on your character, it will move you the smallest amount possible. And so you see me just testing it out here, saying, okay, what's up? Why is it not working? Come on. And then I'm like, huh. Alright, I'm trying to move it backwards. I ended up like testing it to run out of mana. Like it's just, I do like to test things. I do like to see what the limits are for a lot of the stuff in the game. And that's when I figured it out. So you're gonna see me try practicing with it while I'm instead of like the normal stuff I do, where like I just try to hit once and then cancel into an auto attack and then the bone shatter. I'm gonna try to practice doing this. Now they did change some things since the last time I made a video on this. I love that animation, by the way. It's like the multi-trigger from like one bone shatter is really cool. It feels really satisfying to use. But what they changed was, at least the important thing for me, is the currency. So I was mostly getting my upgrades from fighting stuff on the ground. Huh. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So I was mostly getting my upgrades from like not finding stuff on the ground, but like finding stuff in shops.
But it might hold the runes
I think my boots are in the unique ring I have on my mercenary. It's found from the ground. From like, most of the stuff I've been getting is like, if it's good, it's from the shop, right? Like the rings that I have a damage ring on my merc, and the I have a helmet that I brought that has like rarity, that has armor for the warrior, and a few other things that I brought just because it seemed pretty good. So mostly when I find things on the ground, if it's a rare, which I have no trouble getting, I will just sell it, and the blue stuff I always craft unless it has rarity on it. And you can see just how fast I can like, wipe through a mob, right? And this is what I mean by like
They
people say the
still
word
defend
slow
their
and like
land,
bad.
even
It's
after
slow,
all this time.
but it's not bad. It's actually clearing things faster than I would with the mercenary at this stage in the game. Now, on that character, once you get later, you get I build shock damage, and I got Herald of Thunder, and like I am like blowing through enemy waves. So like to the point where like I'm on the second act, and I'm just like I feel like I'm playing like a better version of PoE 1, where it's just like I'm just absolutely massacring everything in front of me. Um, I seem to be able to not invalidate the boss, but largely deal with them pretty safely while threat. Even when I'm like making like major mistakes because like, I'm tired or something. Like missing, not hitting my health potion when I'm about to die. Um, like yeah, like just like I'm like, oh yeah, I have to heal, and then I keep hitting the wrong button. But yeah, here is where like having like an increase in the AoE size would be really useful. I don't know I'm gonna put there is a support gem for this, so you can like put the AoE on like double your AoE size but lower your cooldown, but that's okay with Bone Shatter because like you're not really using it like it's instant and like a short cooldown, and then when you really have to sub for it, it's not a problem. Though I'm not sure how I feel. I might just use it for like a bigger attack later. But I am using it somewhat frequently in this case. Now, oh, what was I saying? So the currency drop rates are increased. So they lowered chaos orbs because apparently they're weighted together. So if you're getting chaos orb from the loot table, you miss out on other things like exalted drops, and they increase the rate of exalted drops as such. So you can craft a lot more. And they also made bosses I think have guaranteed drops. So you're getting a lot more currency guaranteed and just playing in general. And so far I haven't needed it because my mercenary when I was playing yesterday, which is like insanely powerful. Like I just don't need the help. If anything, I need less stuff. Like if anything, like I don't need any more. If I find like a really good glove and an amulet, which I don't have yet, 'cause I never brought one. If I find like amulet that like cures my lightning resist, ironically, my lowest resist by far is lightning. Going into the Act 2 desert. Um, if that's dealt with the amulet, then like I am like my character is like has no weakness. What? Oh my god, dude! Like I forgot just how much damage I could do. I didn't even remember just like how much damage I was doing. You know, the warrior feels great. Warrior feels really good. Especially once I get in control of that, like the rolling thunder. Like it's gonna be super fucking like over for like all the bosses and stuff. So I am gonna be using some equipment when I can on the warrior that I found in the mercenary. They're not like particularly strong. It's just a helmet with rarity that has armor. I think the gloves might have like good rarity as well. I'm not sure. But I was able to get a small upgrade because it did.
Hammer and anvil!
So yeah, this is just the other big thing is that like which I didn't experience, as you can see, me just wiping the floor with everything. Something I didn't experience, which is people getting trapped by mobs. No, I think if you're getting trapped by mobs, like it's obviously I think you're just bad at the game. As you can see here, I'm surrounded. It doesn't matter. Again, I've only died once to mobs, so I really don't know. I'm just testing it out right here, like testing, trying to do it on reaction. So I don't know what that experience is like, really. And even there, when I died, I could have easily gotten out of it if I was not like messing around.
What? Who is that?
So, like, I could have flashbanged out as a mercenary, or I could have like used my normal powerful skills like high velocity and killed all of them basically on one side. But I was trying out the ice shotgun, which I'm now replacing. So I have the electric shotgun, and then um, I have the ice path multi like the machine gun fire or assault rifle fire, so you can like create a path of ice in the ground. Because most of the time, because of the stun grenade, I really don't need something that's like instant reaction, like ice wall plus ice shotgun or something like that. So one of the things I do find it a little annoying is that like like the skill gem progression kind of feels a little weird, where like I have like these empty skill gems because like you can only use a higher level skill gem to like raise the level when you're existing skill gems. And so I'm like, well, what do I do with this? So I just put it away. I completely forgot that you can use skills from other classes. I just wasn't even thinking about it. So like I might use the war cry actually for the warrior. No, for the mercenary. And for the warrior, I might like take something from another class. I'm not sure what it'll be. Maybe the monk, but it might require me to be a little smarter. Yeah, this is like a pretty like I pretty much steamrolled this entire video. Like I just at this point, especially me playing, it's just all this stuff
Come
is
on!
just getting
Hang that move!
invalidated. Like your power level is really is high. I do think the beginning uh the beginning Act 1 is a really good tutorial for new people. But I think for experienced players, is especially for like action games, this is like it's a little too easy. Like I don't want the entire game to be invalidated as soon as I hit Act 2, and I really don't have like crazy shit like like I have a good weapon and I went damage, but like that shouldn't be enough to like completely ignore the boss and shit. I wonder how like fighting Gregor or Geogor is gonna feel the warrior, because as the mercenary I felt pretty much like non-threat. It was a cool boss and it looked cool, but they really need to give enemies and bosses a better ability to stick on you. Because you could just walk out and not roll in a lot of situations, and you're just fine because you're out of range, or because they can't target you well enough. And it's like in Dark Souls, if you were to try to just walk away when to use something that doesn't require stamina, you would eventually you just get caught up on really fast for a lot of enemies in the game, or you just quickly find yourself out of the area because there's much to go. But in a game this open, you really need enemies that are just like faster than you and like force you to roll and force you to engage, and they need to be able to actually hit you even if you just like walk a little bit to the side, which in this game is just not the case. In a lot of situations you can just walk to the side and like enemies will auto attack instead of where you will be, like where you are, and they just miss because their attack range is so narrow. Like I think it would be really good if the enemies like if they lunge at you, they attack a little bit ahead of you, right? And then they try to like attack where they think you're going. And then if there's a dig sig stuff, you know, if there's a lot of them, they might be able to like get both sides and force a roll or something. Though I think like with the stamina change, the roll change to where like you can like have zero roll size, so any small gap you can get through. I really do think that they should just like make roll have stamina, and then if you have like run out of stamina, you get like a -30, -20% attack damage. and spell damage. Like I think one of the things that will help, and I'm going dual wield now because I found another good hammer. Well, I think one of the things that would help is players having stamina would make it clear that you're not supposed to roll all the time. Like you see people panic rolling Dark Souls, but you very quickly see them stop doing that when they're near low stamina because they know they can't do anything. I don't think it should go that far, but like I do think there should be like some punishment for like panic rolling because rolling feels really strong right now. You could pretty much infinitely dodge just by rolling and take no damage unless there's like range attacks coming at you. So any melee enemy, so you always should focus the range enemies whenever possible, which is almost always the time. And then you just kite the melee enemies because they can't actually reach you. Even the ones that can lunge, like, well, if you just spam roll, will never hit you, pretty much. So like, surrounding is really the only way to die to mobs. And with the new changes, that's just much harder. So I'm thinking that just like a stamina. I know they probably aren't thinking about this because they're really not thinking about the consequences of like having a roll. And they might think that the evasion only happening in the first half is good enough, but it's not. It's because that's by the time enemies catch up to you if you're panic rolling, it's you're already standing up and able to roll again. And so that first half of burst speed and evasion is all you need. Let me just show you the descriptions here. But those are the two major things. I think they fit some bugs too. So if your build like had a problem, like that's not a problem anymore. I heard like the blood mage was having an issue with one of their skills that like made them way worse. I really want to try a monk because like monk just looks cool when it's in the advertised state, and it'll give me a chance to really like because I will have a combo generator. It'll give me a real chance to like see like how endurance charges and charges use in general is like. Yeah, so I'm just looking to see like actually I'm not even sure what I'm looking for right here. I don't even remember. I'm looking for something though. Oh, okay. So surprisingly that like you have to switch out your weapon auto attack otherwise or your skill, which is a little kind of weird. But I like it because it means that you can always choose like I only want to use this auto attack with this weapon. But I feel like it should have been explained to you. It was a little confusing. Yeah, I was trying to like get some other skills too, but like some of them were not like showing up. If for different classes, they were not like they were all grayed out. So I wonder if it's because my intelligence is too low, because like I didn't meet the stat requirements. But then sometimes, even if you didn't meet the stat requirements, if you have a certain ability, it would show up green anyway. And it lets you take it, which is how it should be, right? Because it's confusing to not know. Like, you just have it to where like there's a red mark where the stat requirement is. Like, oh, you can't use this, or put a different like color, so that it looks like I can't select it at all. Even though I can, or at least I think I can. So I'm just practicing with the one hand. It's like, alright, how powerful is this? How quickly can I switch? Can I transition quickly as well? And I do want to like go for a fizz build a little bit, like where like have my auto attack be fizz and like lacerate. But it just sucks that like I lose so much damage from like my fire. Because one of the things is like with shock, it's like you have to attack afterwards. You get the shock to like keep damaging, but in night it's damage over time. So it really is good in the warrior where you can't always get a hit, because you have to look for your opportunities. But the ignite damage will still keep things like energy shield down, and it will still let you do damage even when you're not hitting. And something I am gonna get here is the shield bash skill, and that's really I really like it because I like the suggestion someone made. It's like when there's no enemies in your screen or attacking you like aggro for 5 seconds, I think you should be running a little faster because um I did hear that maps get pretty big, and this map feels pretty big, right? Like if I'm exploring it just by myself, it can take a long time to just move around for for not much happening. It's not like there's a lot of scenery and like stuff to see like in Elden Ring or Dark Souls especially. So like there's a reason why so many games have sprints nowadays. Um, and it's fine to have the big maps, but like they did add you can travel between checkpoints now, which is nice, convenient. But just being able to move a little faster when there's nothing going on is like for a while is really nice. I do get the shield bash skill though, and so not only do I get a get out of jail free card, but
Last
also
one.
it's super fast when it comes to just movement, just general movement. Like you, for a short cooldown, 3 seconds, and for a short cast time, like you just sprint far. Yeah, so you sprint really far with that skill, and it's pretty it's pretty strong. It's just a strong skill, right? It also combos some stuff later. So like I really like it. It feels really good. It looks really cool. It works well for mobs and getting out, and it works well for mobs for initiating. And it's also really powerful and useful movement skill to just move around with. So you see here, this is before the update, and I am like just able to get it out no problem. So I just don't have the experience other people have. Maybe I am just too good at this game or some shit, but like yeah, I've never had a real experience that wasn't just pure me being retarded where I got stuck. And you can see just how fast I'm just dual wielding like the two basic, this is like literally the basic fucking, you know, I should have like bow shot and everything. I don't know why I didn't do that, but yeah.
Go with honor.
And yeah, look
There
how
is
much
nothing
loot I'm
left
getting.
to defend.
Look how much loot I'm getting. Like it's just
My satchel is filled.
like at this stage game, this is all really fucking good. And like I never have trouble. This is after 27 hours of gameplay, and both characters I've never had trouble getting loot. But I always rock rarity items too. And like if you find the golden chest and the blue chest too, like you're also more likely to get loot. So this is pre-patch. So imagine what it's gonna be like post-patch. It is true that I didn't find any exalted orbs this entire time, and I never found a case orb with the warrior yet. And so I'm just reading these now, just like, okay, what did they do? Which one's good? I have a fertile cry from the mercenary, so I don't even need this, but This is before um I got it. And I knew I was gonna go shield charge, but I'm just checking just in case. I love the new changes to the skill system, just allowing you to like place your own gems, and that you can only place one of a type. So like I really
Shield
am.
charge is best used for stunning a small group of enemies. This skill does more damage and thus more stun, based on the armor value of your shield. Shield charge is best used. Shield charge is
Yeah,
best
but
used
like
for
that's not
stunning a
really the
small
purpose
group
of
of
it. It's
enemies.
a travel skill
This
and
skill does
doubles
more
as a
damage and
get
thus
on
more
top and
stun,
get
based
out
on the
skill.
armor
So
value of your shield.
like you might as well just
Shield
like
charge is
use your
best used
normal
for
rolling nut
stunning a
slam at
small
this
group of
point,
enemies.
and just like
This
you get
skill
the
does
stun from
more
that
damage
anyway,
and
because it's only 50%.
Shockwave Totem repeatedly thumps the ground, dealing area damage. It causes an extra shockwave from any jagged ground it hits. Infernal Cry
Yeah, but
puts
it's
a
too slow.
debuff on enemies that makes them explode when they die. It also increases the damage of your next attack. The more enemies around you, the larger the boost. If you have endurance charges, Infernal Cry will consume them to boost additional attacks.
Which is why I want to get the monk's killing palm.
Using Armor Breaker repeatedly against enemies will break their armor, allowing you to deal more physical damage. Look out for this symbol to see which enemies have high armor. There are many other skills that have additional effects on monsters if their armor is broken. Using Armor Breaker repeatedly against enemies will break their armor, allowing you to deal more physical damage.
So
Look out
this is
for
something I
this
want to get
symbol to
next
see which enemies have
because
high armor.
I think totems are just a little
There
too
are many
slow
other
compared to how
skills
much
that
damage
have
I can actually
additional
dish
effects
out.
on monsters if their armor is broken.
There's only a few enemies I can see totems being useful. There's just something people are really not seeing. It's like, look, your grenades may seem strong. I was using it against Jigor when I stunned them, and I'm like, for the amount of mana and time I'm spending, I could have just did more, or at least almost as much, with just armor break on the mercenary, and then high velocity rounds. Cause I break boss armor like in like a second now. Like it's really fast. I have the poison plus the corrosion increase. So if you throw poison, they take more armor break, and then I have it like as high as possible. And so like I'm doing like I shoot at a boss for like literally a second, like, and they're like I stop, their armor is still breaking, and then I'm like they run out, and I just blow them up. So you can see there a lot of shit is grayed out. And I'm just gonna put the shield charge in. Gonna be testing it on the red mist too. Getting the rest of the items I left on the ground. I have mouse buttons to make this easier. But you can't, I found out you run out of skill slots before you use all your buttons, which is weird. Um, I wonder if you can get more, because it's like, I know in PoE you can fill out all your skill slots. So I don't know what's up with that. Yeah, I ended up, I think I accidentally sell one of my socketed uh, vests here, or save it, I guess. Good, good, good. Because like I remember selling one, and I was like, damn, I could have just got an artificer orb with that. Yeah, okay, I was pretty close.
Hello.
And I'm not sure I disenchant or sell the gold item at this point.
Yes. These are just some odds and ends of mine. Another for my collection. Thank you.
Sell it. Okay, yeah. I did get a lot of gold when I was playing as a mercenary. Like, I had it on hand. Like, I had so much gold. It's like crazy.
Spirits in the trees be damned.
And
You actually entered the Red Veil and survived. Every Ogham kid knows, if you step 1 foot in there, you'll be skewered and eaten. Well, those kids that are lucky enough to have a mother, that is. Oh, shite. No offense. I was talking about me, not you. Although I guess we do have that in common. How rusted is the gear? Any of it salvageable? Worth anything? Just thinking out loud.
yep, he acts exactly how you'd expect. But oh, I forget. I'm trying not to talk over the NPCs here. But I kind of want the energy shield armor, but then with the shield break, maybe I'll go without it. I'm not sure. I would definitely get energy shield stuff with the paladin though. Just I feel like it fits the theme, like magic user slash physical attacker. And I'm thinking about buying more sash shops, but like really like I want to wait for the sale to like maximize my value. I really should just be talking to Redley right now just to get this shit off of my inventory. Just looking for stuff to like break down for parts. And I keep that because I'm not sure what I want to choose. I should break that down. I'm not gonna use that evasion shield. It's not what my character's about. And yeah, I think that's enough. I'm finally gonna break these things down. I wish it was a little crafting. So my idea for crafting is that like, I think they already said this. I'm surprised it's not in the game where you get, I feel like you should be able to remove specific affixes, instead of it being completely random, and that like you should be able to, get the essence of a tiered affix on an item. So like, you take an item and if you destroy it completely, you get to get an essence of one of the tiered affixes. And the amount you get should be proportional to how rare it is. So with like a tier 5, the rarest uh, item with a tier, like you should be able to, with the tier 5 essences, you should be able to like get a full, like just 1-to-1, whereas if cause you're destroying a super rare item with probably really high stats, right? And so I think it's a fair trade, and you still have to find it with the RNG. So for people who don't want to engage with the RNG crafting stuff, or is at the point to where they're willing to just destroy everything just to try to find something for the aphids, I think it's safe to say that they're not going to care about anything they find, and so this is a way to make
Furious
them
spikes,
care.
but be cautious. They stayed warm after forging no matter how many times I quenched them. I would ask what you need these for, but I'm putting my trust in you.
So yeah, I can get that. For some reason,
If
they're
you
like
find a
perma-identify.
do bring it back.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, I don't understand why they made allowed you to just like permanent, like to free mass identify everything with the hooded one. I'm assuming it's a stopgap for something, whatever, but like it's a little too strong. Like there should be a cost. Like,
Oi!
but yeah, this you should be able to remove specific affixes, and I think the way it should work is that because I don't think they want this scouring stuff where you're just like scouring a base
Ominous, but
like
it might hold
non-stop.
the runes I seek.
You're scouring your base non-stop and you're like literally just like spamming regal orbs on it and trying to get like a really good affixes and stuff like that until you get the one you want, right? And that's a really shitty way to do crafting. It should feel like crafting, not like not like a casino. So if they want to have I don't know why I'm not talking here, but like so like you can see the shield skill right there. Like look how fast that shit is. Like you really can just get the fuck out. And like I started using it to move around. And it's pretty fun. Really ups the speed of exploration. Look at this. I don't know why I'm looking at it. Like I wonder if I can control it or not. I think. Yeah, you see, you can control it. I think you have to hold down the button to activate it. I think you have to like move and turn your mouse at the same time. So I'm just testing it out. But yeah, with the crafting, it's like, so the tier of the item is going to determine the amount of essence you get for the modifier you're trying to take. You destroy the item and you get the certain amount. So a tier 5 item will always yield a 1 because you're destroying a tier 5 item, right? That should be like super value, right? It's like super high in magic content. But you can only get the affets that you of the tier that you're breaking down. So you still have to get the tier 5 affets of the item. So that's still a way people can be engaged even if they don't care for any items that they're getting. And then if it's lower tier, even if you get a tier 5, you need more of them, right? So you need like 2 or 3 tier 5 affixes on a lower tier item to make up for one craft of that affix on your actual item. And I think there's a video where they said something like this, not this detail, but like they were talking about this. Surprised it's not in the game. The other thing I would say is that like the scouring should be that if you scour too many times, you destroy the magic content of your item, and you can't put that suffix or prefix on anymore. So like you just lose the ability to add to that spot of your area of your item. And so if you do it for both suffix and prefix too many times, so you scour too much, you break it. You break the item. Because right now people are just like, essentially anytime you get something you don't want, it's at a certain point, I've seen some people say, like look at it and be like, alright, it's trash then. And so I might as well just like sell it or just enchant it and to look for another base and then do it a little more. It's just a scouring thing, just in a more convoluted format. Right. I love the non-diagonal effects in this too. It's really cool that they have that. But it really sells the impact. But yeah, I think they should just make it limited scouring for suffix and prefixes, and you could like make the item like grow dull or something over time to indicate it like losing its magic content. And here I'm just testing if like you get slowed down with the shield if you just tap it. because sometimes I want to tap shield button to just switch, and instead of the X button, which is my switch sets, weapon sets, and it raises my shield for a little bit, so I wonder if it affects me in that and my movement speed. But yeah, like people are really excited now. They're pretty much calmed down. Like, oh, okay, you get to change if you actually want. It's a little fair now. You can push small creatures, which I think should have been always the case. I got stuck on I did roll and get stuck on one of the remaining enemies in the desert. It was like the small crab, and like I couldn't move. It felt like I ran to a brick wall. I was like, okay, this feels a little weird. I should be able to move this thing out of the way. Like I was hitting on the edge too, so it's like one of those invisible wall feelings.
Renly's done a fine job forging those spikes. Meet me at the Tree of Souls.
Yep, just gonna disenchant some things first. Scepters actually sell for more than usual. Certain items sell more than other items. So if you find a scepter, you should consider selling it even if it's magic, where normally I'll disenchant it. I think I start selling it
Please,
soon.
take your time.
I really
will
need some
treasure it.
rings. So I think I'm gonna buy that nest, because that's definitely my next upgrade. And then I might have to get some frost resist eventually for the act
Bye.
boss. He's a real treat. You're gonna really like him. I did not die on the mercenary when fighting him.
Sorry, I was
Especially because they were giving me free mana and health potions with the one of the moves, but the moves were so cold that I was like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. Just leave it. You can leave it as it. I don't care. I don't care that I could, as a ranged character, I could basically guarantee dodge almost everything he does. You know, I don't care that I can like, yeah, do a fuck ton of damage right now. Well, it's if he tries to hit me with certain things, he can't do anything back because he's stuck in his animation. Like, I don't care. It's just like, it's too cool. He's just so cool. Like he does like this like chant, like this like poem or some shit, and like he summons everything becomes like ice around you. He like summons wolves from like the icy mist. It's like, yo, it's like the night. Is this a blessing? Is it a blessing or a curse? Yeah, I branded or
happened here?
not or some shit like
Stab
that.
spikes
Like
into the Runewood
the
markings.
king, like the Gregor
Bye.
hunts again. That's some shit. It was really fucking cool. It was really fucking cool. And I'm like, alright, come on. Just,
Good.
yeah.
Now the others.
Release that which you hold.
Yes.
And the timing of those. Something cool is that in the manor. Oh, let's watch it.
He's unconscious, but he's breathing. Though, this wound. We should take him back to Clearfell. He may be the only one who knows what truly happened out here. Stay safe, if you can.
By the way, I think the guy, if you don't know the story PoE 1, I think that guy is either Sin or he's your character who worked with Sin to destroy Katava.
So, you found a shadow in the forest and you brought it here. Good. Great. Superb. Bye then.
The wound. It should be fatal, but somehow he clings to life. I fear it will not be long until his song ends. He will never heal while the Count's binding still holds sway. Only by a count's hand can this binding be released. I know an old tale, one that speaks of a ring we might be able to recover, buried 3 centuries ago in our ancient graveyard. A count's signet ring bearing his rune of authority. But how to reach it in time? Grim tangle. The overgrown sinkholes and gullies that run beneath Ogham can lead you there. The path is dangerous, but go back to the Grelwood, find the entrance. We shall see if the spirits of this land still have the will to see you through. The graves of our people lie beneath the Eternal's tombs. Despite their best efforts to bury our legacy, we remain. Now they are gone, and we live on. This is the cycle of life as we have always known it. Everyone dies, but the clan endures, and the greatest glory an Ezomite can attain is to live on in a song or a poem. That is why we do not fight the wood and stone to reclaim our buried graves. And it is something the Eternals never understood. We don't need the graves. We still have the songs and the stories that matter. They could never take those from us.
Well, if they killed all of you, they could.
How's the clearing?
So yeah, now we can get through the Grim Tangle. And that boss was easier the second time around than the first, because I only fought him once. So you're gonna see me pretty much like slap him down. Yeah, the problem with ranged characters is that like it's the problem with defense. Defense is inherently really strong in real life and in game. Like in war, right? You would have you would have a defender's advantage where you need more attackers to like get through a defensive position, right? Because they have fortifications or traps and other shit like that. Fighting, hold on. In fighting, there would be like the person who's in the defense, if there was a large enough field and they were good at what they're doing.
If the Fae spirits are still watching, I believe they will help us. Please, wait a moment. The old magic still thrive. The way is open. Please, hurry. Yes? My mother and I would come here to gather mushrooms when I was young. Irving the Druid, one of the Grelwood's resident mystics, would meet us and allow us entry. He was well versed in the tongue of the old magics. But now, well, times certainly have changed. Please, don't eat any of the mushrooms. We need you alive. It fills my heart to see the spirits of the forest answer my call like that. It just goes to show there are still energies in this world that mean to aid us. Move
So,
quickly.
yeah, when you like, if you're fighting, if you're good at defending of movement, you can oftentimes create a lot of opportunities in to counterattack or just stalemate the position. And one of the issues that offensive people have against a really good defense is that they can't hit them, and they spend a lot of energy trying to hit them. And so cutting off the ring or the cage is really important. In games like StarCraft, you see similar things to war in real life, where like it's hard to push up against high ground, this fortification, right? Like you need, right, the reinforcement advantage because you're near the production makes it so you need to have a stronger push in order to get through, right? You need to reach certain breakpoints in order to like actually capture the position, right? And this game is movement, is like each game and each thing has their own way of doing it, but there's commonalities. And in this game, it's like heavily based on movement, where if I'm just far away from your attacks, I can limit the number of attacks you can do, and so I can predict now what's going to like what I need to dodge, and I can prime myself to dodge to react faster to that. Plus, if you want to have like strong, impactful feeling stuff, you unlike like say Merville and PoE 1, you need attacks to have you know uh, cast times. You need to them to like have travel times that are like that you can see and then are of the appropriate speed to like feel like they're like strong and powerful and not just like their anime character like DBZ, Goku instant transmissioning everywhere, right? You can't make every boss like that to make them feel and look different. And so you end up in a situation where you need, if you're a ranged character, if you're not careful, this is Airwig right here,
By venomous! Is that the wandering druid?
right? You end up in a position where like you have these characters that like if you're far away, the one thing ways they can attack you, oftentimes they're so laughably like easy to like react to and like time as a result, 'cause you have all the time in the world to see them coming, that it's not that it's in no way actually difficult to um avoid them. So you just being far away, contrary to what Jonathan Rogers would say, it's like, well, it's better to be closer because you can dodge better because the angle that you um that they have to cut is lower. Actually, it's just easier to be farther away because then you just the only way they can attack you is very telegraphed moves that you see coming for like 30 frames, and then you just have to press the roll button once you get out of it. Which is why I think kinetic rolling should still be nerfed, and with stamina, it's either nerfed or you can't roll at all when you have like low stamina. So you can't just keep spam roll, you actually have to time it. There's no spamming it too many times, right? Like 2-3 times, whatever, it's gone. And they can just make like strafe or something, like give you like some stamina or some shit. Or they can make it independent, they can base it off on each person so they know exactly what a player can do at any point in time. That would be fine too. I think that would be better actually, because this is more of a balance mechanic. Right, and you can see how fast I'm killing this boss. Like, I'm not even sweating this boss. It's like, oh, I got hit, but I have potions, so like, it doesn't matter. I'm not even using them optimally. Just talk to like the boss.
Before this is through.
Oh my god, dude! I forgot I even did that. Oh my god. But yeah. Um, they need to like it's a good act balls for people who are new to the game, but like at a certain point, like you need to have like serious time. Come on, like we need ways to be hit if you're at range distance. And you can see even with with the travel skill, I can get on top of enemies pretty quickly too. So now I'm able to do something similar to like the range character, right? Where I can like better pick my ranges and when I go in, and so I'm less likely to get hit, or I'm better able to avoid attacks, like the teleport attack and stuff. So like the uh him trying to like force me to move out with like grounded explosives. So I do get execute, I think. No, that's on the mercenary. I should get execute though for Bone Shatter. Yeah, I probably should get it for Bone Shatter. But like, well, I can't fit it, right? Because I have too many stuff on it. But alright, but like, it's the way you have to get on top of a range character is three. You could either use the environment to cut them off, or have it dynamic where you can use like a ability or spell to cut them off. The second way to get on top of them is to just have a travel skill for the boss, where like Or the better way to do this is to also have bosses that can sprint, just move really quickly. And you see this in Elden Ring all the time, right? Like even like bosses can like you might be able to get in range, but in an arena that's confined with magic walls, bosses have the ability to actually just come at you like really fast. So in cases like you're in the overworld, you can just use your horse to run away from basically everything that isn't that bear from the red area. I forgot what it's called. The one with that war goddess at. But in the if an enemy is fast enough, like you have to engage, right? And so the ranged game becomes not one where you're completely avoiding attacks. It becomes one where like you get to have opportunities to avoid attacks, but then you also have to figure out ways to like, get out of range attacks, and you still have to engage with the mechanics of the game. You can't just ignore them completely. Like there were times where I got trapped, and because of the distance, like Rigor literally could like by like 5 inches couldn't hit me with his sword, even though I was trapped. And it was the ice wall. I just forgot that you could shoot through it, and I thought you had to like dodge roll at a time. And yeah, he didn't hit me, right? So you have to have ways for the enemy to get on top of you fast enough to where you can't just reposition just for free and like or get the easiest roll of your life and like completely avoid him again, and then he's stuck in the animation. For his end animation, you can just keep attacking him for more free damage, right? If a boss is like a race between lowering your HP bar or lowering their HP bar, ranged characters are able to get attacks off from ranges that they can't be hit for a while or at all, and so they're just getting free damage constantly, and so they're winning that race super hard over time, right? And so one ways that Elden Ring would do is they will have an attack to get on top of you, or they will let the boss like running at you basically, and they will like have another attack as a follow-up. They won't let you just like, oh, I have this one big, drag sword attack, and then you're fine. They will have that one big drag sword attack, and then the boss will like do his like instant like sweeping sword attack right after, so you have to roll out, right? Like it's not just one and done. Whereas in this game, the boss is still one and done, and that's probably due to their inexperience. They just don't know how to make a boss for the game like that, which has dodge rolls. And if you were trying to do that in a game which didn't have dodge rolls, and didn't have like a guaranteed defense mechanism for all characters, you would just get hit by the second attack. But because dodge rolling exists, you can, and especially because bosses can have like very few mobs or only when the boss isn't present, having stuff like that is totally fine and actually recommended, right? Because if the mobs can't stop you, and it's just your boss, well then the boss has to be able to actually do something to you when he gets on top of you, right? Because otherwise you're just getting free damage all the time. And so that would have been really cool. And surprisingly, even though I can play games where like the attacks are faster, his like very fast like sword sweeping attack always hit me if I was ever in range, because I just couldn't react to it because I was so unused to reacting to it in this game. I was just so not uncomfortable with like not expecting it to be that fast that like I actually just got hit every time you use it, and I'm like losing like half my HP or some shit. Like it was a really cool, impactful swing. They did a really good job with the presentation, and like it's just one of those things where it's like it's too bad that like he doesn't do that right after a drag attack or something. He misses. He should probably also like move a little, turn a little bit when he's like doing the drag attack. Cause imagine I had the sword shield, I would just be able to just run out with the shield bash, right? And you do nothing. So you should be able to turn a little bit, just to get closer to you. I'm trying out martial tempo, and seeing how it affects my attack speed, and it's not that much. I'm just seeing if it like it really works for my first. It doesn't even work for Rolling Slam. Second, how does it affect my attack speed? Like I try it out. See, does it really make a noticeable difference? It's a little faster, but like I'm like it's not that fast, and I'd rather have it on my rolling slam to make it a little more convenient. You're gonna see it's a noticeable difference when you have like one-handed versus two. It's slower with two-handed.
Hammer and anvil!
Something surprising me is the lack of implicits on weapons. Um, like it's weird not to see implicits on weapons. I'm playing PoE 1. I played up to rank Act 9, and I basically killed the boss. And I've been so bored. It's so easy, and like everything is like so similar to how you do things that like I just can't. I really can't just play the game anymore. Like I could do it to like complete it, but like I don't think I'm gonna get really far in maps. Because like it's just so boring at this point. Like there's basically no lore to find anymore. The maps are dead basically. Sorry. And it's just I'm doing the same thing over and over, validating all the content. It's like the first time I ever played it, and it's like I'm playing a melee build, and it's just like yeah, there's not much game there in terms of actual gameplay. You see how fast I get on top of something? It's like really fucking strong. That shield bass is like insanely strong. Feels really good to have. Look how much fucking damage I do in that AoE.
Face me!
And people saying warrior is like bad. It's like, just look how much work I'm doing. It's like yeah, you do have to engage with mechanics more, and I imagine like certain things like the executioner would be a little harder than the mercenary, where I validated him because he could not hit me with anything because he clearly was not tuned towards range. But like, yeah, like it's the that aside, this game is still like with warrior still like just so easy to like handle. I say again, like I handled things better until I got the shock weapon in the merc. Like even my ability to clear is just higher with the warrior, just on base. It's only the slow speed that's keep chaining me down. Like if it was fast, like holy shit, I would have awakened. Like I messed up there. I rolling say that's fine, that's acceptable because like there's things in the back. But it would have been better if I just did the bone shatter. Yeah, it just shattered this skull right there. Finish the job. I like fighting things. I like playing the scenic route. I'm much faster now that I don't have to spend time reading every fucking thing and like not knowing where to go or anything. I have an idea where things are. There is tells from the location stuff on the map where things are, by the way. I like how you can like bounce off the rock like that. He just spit on me. Jesus. Yeah, they give you way too much charges. Like normal enemies should give you like a tenth of the charges and shit, and then like rare enemies should give you like half. And then like unique enemies should give you like rare enemies. So magic enemies should give you half because they're still easy to kill. Rare enemies should give you like 20%. Unique enemies should give you like 100%. Though I'm finding with rares give you 50%, but like you just get too many charges, and when you add the checkpoints and waypoints and the infinite like TP porter scrolls to the fountain to get wells, that's only gonna matter in maps. Here it's infinite, and it's like you just invalidate the content with like just healing alone, right? Because like it's a lot of regen per second. Yep, so just more disenchanting, more selling. Yeah, I hope people calm down now that like hope people calm down now that we're like further like the patch just came out and like they can see the game for what it is instead of what they wanted to see, especially PoE players. They're like I watched the talking to try with Lighty or some shit and like some of the points are okay, but a lot of the
Yes.
points just make no sense. Like he clearly doesn't play much outside of the ARPG genre, and he clearly doesn't understand it on a like on a on a deep level. It's very shallow. It's literally saying stuff like, "Oh, why even have the roll mechanic again?" Because like some enemies can like either you roll all the time or you don't, and like you look at my gameplay, that's just not true, right? Like even with the travel skill, I can like with the warrior, for example, I can choose to use that to get out of the way or to engage while dodging stuff, or just
Yes.
block while dodging
I
stuff.
understand you did what you had to. Please, let us not speak of it further.
Right, like every
Move
boss,
quickly.
there's a reason to roll. As far as I'm looking at it, and if nothing else, because it gets you out of your it cancels your an animation for your attacks, or when you're shooting, you slow down and you can still move out the way in time because you can cancel to a roll instead of having to do the slow walk and then do the full walk and then you're just gonna get hit by something. So there's reasons to roll just for that. Just for economy of movement, like getting out of something in time. Uh, Rolling is very valuable, and um, the reason rolling exists is because you need a way to get on top of ranged characters, and while they may not be doing a good job right now, I expect they will be able to at some point in the future. And if you cannot get on top of ranged characters quickly enough, because they want to have like a certain feel and effect of the boss attacks and the boss himself, um, then you just basically are resort to just using projectile attacks
My
for them.
family has been abducted! That bastard tyrant Praetor Draven! He's taken my family hostage! They're being held somewhere beyond these gates. I never thought he would stoop this low. I sent for reinforcements, but it's been so long. I must get through the gate. The keys! Where are the blasted keys? I believe those cowards took them.
I will gladly honor this request.
So
Oh,
let's listen to the lore a little bit.
the Praetor. Oh, the Praetor, that monster. He is the worst man the Eternals could have chosen as a custodian for this territory. Had he come to us in peace, the clans might have been willing to talk. But that damn swine regards us as nothing but dogs. He invaded the village in the night without warning, without honor. He seized my family to try to force us to surrender. The Eternal Empire cares for nothing but power. Mark my words. We will not be ground under the heel of tyranny. Arkham. Oh yes, Arkham. This is the oldest home of the Ezomites as we know ourselves. Past generations departed from here to settle Ezomir and the Isles of Skon. We did not always call this part of Farrell our homeland. And now the Eternals have come with their armies and laid claim to this place. It'll be a cold day in the Vastiri Desert before we submit.
I like how they did that. They took an old adage and like put it in their own way. But I don't think I subjected you guys to like all this. But like yeah, Lighty's like straight. He's straight up like saying, "Oh, well, when the ARPGs don't have rolling, it's fine." It's like, okay, well, what if I want to have a fast attack? right? You
What's
if you
happening?
don't
Are you lost too?
if you don't have a way to quickly get out of the way, essentially another form of a roll, right? Like another form of dodging. Um, then you you as a player um literally can't do anything. Like you just get hit for free. And so in order to solve this issue of like, well, what if I get on top of you and I attack too fast? What are you supposed to do? You need a universal mechanic to make sure that players can get out of the way. And the way this is solved is via rolling or some equivalent, right? That everybody can use, that you can balance around and guarantee no matter what, that through your experience, if you do a roll in this situation, this will always work, right? And so, or you do like some other form of dodging, right? So to say that ARPGs are like they're fine, that nobody talks about ARPGs like they're the most amazing combat ever. Like, nobody says mentions an ARPG. Like they're not saying, oh, you know what's the pinnacle of good combat? Last Epoch. Like nobody says that. Okay, because ARPGs are known for being terrible in their gameplay mechanics, right? Nobody looks at WoW and says that's amazing, you know, like action combat. Like even the people who like WoW know that's nonsense. So like it's not okay, right? Like and PoE1 is even known as even worse than Diablo 4. So like it's not okay to have no rolling and no anything. Like there's reasons why this is a standard of a genre. And you're seeing in this game, there are cases where like, yeah, I really need to roll out because I need to get out really quickly with this burst movement speed. If I didn't spec into roll for any reason, if there was a skill or something, and I didn't have it, you couldn't have those type of attacks, right? Like you can't. If you're a ranged character, that's why ranged characters are so insane. Like it's one of the reasons in PoE 1 is, and you're seeing some of the issues in PoE 2 where like the enemies can't get on top of you, you get free damage, and you just kill them before they can really react, before they can really do anything. It might as well be like you can ignore like 100% of damage for like 3 seconds every like 2 seconds or something like that. It might as well be a skill like that because the enemies can't project their damage onto you unless they also have a projectile attack. And so the way you can deal with this is you can increase the attack speed and the ability to get on top, or just the movement speed in general, so they can hit you, and then you can make it so they can actually hit you. But then if you have just walking, well, then the solution has to be that you can just walk out casually, which is super easy to do, right? There's no skill in that. And so rolling makes it so that there's a timing to it and a reaction time to it, to where you have to time your roll at the right time. Otherwise, you will get hit if they get on top of you. You don't need a projectile attack to do any sort of damage. And having that fucks warriors over, where like the game becomes based around ranged characters and not melee characters. Um, I think the like they need more time to cook. Like they need to figure out how to make ranged characters like engage with the combat. And again, there's three ways to do this, right? You can cut off the ring statically or dynamically with environment, or with areas that are created by the enemy. You can make it so the enemy has travel skills, ways to get on top of you with their attacks, and follow-up skills to that, to where they can quickly attack you once you dodge the first travel skill, which is likely to happen if it's slow at all. Um, and the third way is to just add more projectile attacks, but you don't want every boss to have a projectile attack, at least, and certainly not in the same way. You want some impactful, like slow, strong hitting bosses and enemies and stuff like that. So rolling is fine. Execution could be better for ranged characters, but rolling is fine. I think they should make a stamina thing and just gimp rolling and gimp your attack damage, your overall damage, if you're like empty stamina. And I think they should like really look at like the first Elden Ring boss fight and just like look how he combos. Like he throws he has his launch attack, and then he can quickly follow up with another attack, and you can't get out of the way. Even if you were running, you could not get out of the way fast enough, unless you uh to just walk out. Like you have to roll out. And that's where the stamina comes into play. Because like if you use all your stamina, then you can't attack and you can't defend. Right. You try to block the entire time. Well, guess what? Like, well, now you're losing stamina, so that you have to attack less. So you use a really strong defensive option, but then you have less offensive options and certain attacks that you can't block. Now you have less rolling options, right? So, and then there's more ways to do this too, right? Like you could have like short rolls that take less stamina, but then are harder to execute to dodge attacks, right? So they need to be timed better. And then you can have like if you want later on when people get familiar with the rolling, you can like have augments that like the unique that lets you blink. Right, but yeah, like there's a lot of stuff that was like, well, you clearly have not thought about this, and you really just wanted like ARPGs for the combat, which well, pretty much everyone knows has terrible combat, and nobody ever looks to them for, whenever they are talking about good combat in a video game. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. For now, maybe I'll talk more about it in the next video. But like, there's a lot of things he was saying. I was like, wow, okay, you really haven't thought about this. Um, but thanks for watching. Like, favorite, and subscribe. Spread the word. If anybody wants to talk about how Warrior is bad, just show them these videos, and you could demonstrate with footage like how good Warrior actually is.